Hello, friends.
So it's not Valentine's Day when you're listening to it, but it's Valentine's Day when we're recording it. So happy Valentine's to you, Ash.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's to you. 1 year ago, I sent you a heart-shaped pizza, which you said was your Valentine's Day dream.
I know. It was so romantic. It really was. I was like the best.
My husband made me a mimosa to record with.
Oh my God, that's nice.
That's romance for me.
Lee and I took an Orange Theory workout class together for Valentine's Day because they were like, bring your lover for free.
Oh, that's nice. Did he like it?
He loved it. If he couldn't have done it, I was going to have you be my lover.
I wasn't going to go.
I'm sorry, but I like got made up for you, but I didn't change my workout hair. And I feel like I'm giving Miss Frizzle vibes.
In only the best ways.
Thank you.
Now I should plug this. Now we put the entire unedited episode. I mean, I'll edit like maybe a couple of things. Like if there's something that like, you know what, edit that out.
It's unedited.
Our entire unedited video of our episodes is now on our YouTube every week. So people will be able to see how beautiful you look.
So if you want to see Miss Frizzle up in the piece, you can go on YouTube.
There you go. But guys, we have a great show today. I actually think this is going to be really fun. Between the Super Bowl commercials, Rihanna's performance, and more, we have a ton of hot goss to discuss.
And then we are doing a really, what's the word I'm looking for? Polarizing, thank you, topic between Ashley and I. And that is, we are talking about couples that don't sleep in the same bed. Is it healthy? Is it good or bad? What is it? We're going to weigh in.
We'll see. And it is from the paper of record, the New York Times. Right. So, there is some
science.
We have statistics, we've got science, we're ready to talk.
Yes.
As always, we have our hashtag swag bag. But up next, take it away, small child.
Let me see the shirt you're wearing.
It's just the Imogen and Willie.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. What's it say? I hope you're
well. Grim Reaper.
I love that. I love those.
I felt like it was very appropriate for Valentine's
Perfect.
Day.
I love it.
Okay, I'm going to go first.
Okay, great.
So my shits, I'm going to get that out of the way. My mother-in-law, Carol, whenever I talk about going to Pleasantville, I talk about, that's my in-laws' house in Delaware. My mother-in-law had emergency open heart surgery last week.
All those words are bad. All of them.
She was airlifted and all that stuff. And, aside from
it's saving her life.
I actually really like my in-laws. Let me start by saying that. A lot of people don't like their in-laws. I think we're different kinds of people, but they're kind and they're nice and loving. There's nothing to not like.
Yep.
They're just different than me. So it was pretty scary. And, I think it was pretty touch and go. She had to be airlifted. It was a whole thing. I'm very happy to report she has been discharged. She is back home. And I'm just so relieved. And more than anything, although I'm very relieved for myself and for her, I'm really relieved for Matt because it was, I think this was the first time I really saw my husband in crisis mode.
Yeah. And
it was really weird and it really threw me off. And we were fighting a lot and this is my shits because I wish I had handled it better. I really wanted to give him the space to kind of fall apart because he's not an emotional person and he's not an open person.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to be a supportive partner and give him that space. And he wouldn't do it. He just would not succumb to.
Well, he did it in a different way.
I don't think he did.
Because sometimes it comes out as anger or something else.
No, but I think the fight, we fought a lot in this week, which is rare. We don't fight that often. And they were big fights. And I think the reason that happened is because I was sensing just offness from him. But because anytime we would talk about how he was feeling with his mom, because when I would ask, he wouldn't own up to it. In my mind, it was okay, we're proceeding as normal. And so then he would act weird and then I would take it a certain way. And I just feel like I didn't really give him the space to feel what he needed to feel, and it's because he wasn't willing to give himself this. It just was a vicious cycle. And, I just wish it had been handled better by me, but also by him, but by me. But, we seem okay now, I guess. I don't know.
Well, whatever. Anyway, it's over now.
Yeah. Over. Everyone's alive. We're good. Everyone's healthy. Carol has a new heart, basically, that she could live with, which, that's good. That's good news.
Do you remember that movie Untamed Heart where they're like, he has a monkey heart?
Very, very, very vaguely.
It was like Samantha Mathis and Christian Slater.
Yeah. It was like an early 90s movie, right?
I loved all those early 90s Christian Slater movies. He was like my dream.
I liked early 90s Robert Downey Jr. movies.
Yeah.
Anyway. What was the one where the guy dies and he comes back as Robert Downey Jr.? I love that one.
Some Kind of Wonderful? No.
Yeah, no. And the daughter is falls in love with him. Anyway, this is very off topic.
Well, Valentine's Day, but yeah, anyway.
True. But it's not for them.
I know, it just is for us. It's all about us, Ashley. Who's listening anyway?
My tits are, what an active, few weeks we've had together, separately, but also together. We took our kids to see Aladdin. I don't think we talked about this, right?
I don't remember anymore.
I don't either. We took our kids to see Aladdin, which surprisingly, they sat through the whole show.
Yeah, and we had a couple touch and go moments. I mean, honestly, I had more touch and go moments than they did.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I'm not going to sit here and say everyone should go to Aladdin because
it was the Ross Dress for Less of Broadway.
Yeah. It really seemed like we were watching a rehearsal more than anything.
Luna said they don't have a lot of energy. Maybe they need protein, but it was very sparkly.
Yeah, it was very sparkly, very low energy.
Yes.
Also, 2 double glasses of wine and 1 bag of M&Ms cost $60, but that's neither here nor there. We needed our wine to watch Aladdin.
For reals.
Then we went to see a taping of the Drew Barrymore show, which was I love a live show taping. Keri loves Drew Barrymore. I saw old friends from my old life. We got some
dressed
free
up.
shit.
Yeah, it was fun.
I got my pillow, by the way. Oh, I used my $100 gift card to that brand to buy a pillow, and it came yesterday.
Oh, I forgot I even had that gift card. I should probably
The pillow's
find
very
it.
Stinky.
I don't know where it is. I need to find it.
You should. It's $100.
Everything
is very expensive on the website. You'll be able to buy a pillow. That's
great. I'll buy a pillow.
Which is fine. I need a good pillow.
Yeah. That's stinky, evidently.
Well, I didn't mind it. It smells like wood.
Oh, I like that.
Which is oddly. Yeah.
It might air out. It might air out.
I sprayed it with Febreze, and Matt was like, I think it's making my eyes itchy. So I put it in my closet.
It's not for you, Matt. It's not for you.
But yeah, I feel like I've been socializing more. I mean, it's all work socialization.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you went to that
you.
brunch, and I mean, listen, we're starting to come out of it.
Last night, yeah.
Ooh, and what event did you go to last night? Holding out on me.
Gallery thing with this woman. I'll tell you about it later. It was
hello.
No, trust me, it's not as exciting as it sounds. It was a gallery in Hoboken. It was
I mean, listen, going out is going out. You know what I mean?
Right. And I guess my point is,
we're practicing.
I'm just feeling alive again. I'm feeling like a human once again. I'm coming out of the COVID, I need to hide forever thing,
right?
That I was in. So yeah. I think that's good. Anyway, your turn.
I'll go for the shits first.
Okay.
Even though I sort of feel like our next episode for next week, these shits fit better for next week's episode, but whatever.
You're doing for next week.
Okay.
Switch them up.
Okay. My shits are that I'm getting ready to have a show open that I'm directing, and
a 6th grade play.
A 6th grade play.
No easy feat.
Where it's constantly, we never have everybody at rehearsal because everybody has brothers and sisters and they all have fucking COVID all the time. So we have half the cast out for COVID. We open in 6 days, which is not the quarantine period. So what the heck is going to happen? It's so hard to run a tech when none of your actors are
what are you going to do
there.
If people can't be there because of COVID?
We have understudies, but it's these kids have worked so hard. There's only 3 performances. What a shame.
I know, poor babies.
And then also I just have to say the audacity of 6th graders. They grew up in a pandemic. this happens to be kind of a wealthy school. I don't know what it is because evidently from other people I talk to, other teachers, the audacity of all sixth graders at this point because of the pandemic. We have a Broadway costume designer. She's currently on a show on Broadway. Okay.
What show?
Well, she did Jasmine's costume for Aladdin.
I mean, I was hoping you were going to say Jasmine's costume because I really liked it. It was beautifully sparkly.
Just Jasmine's. And then what is the show she's on right now? It's a big one. It's like a Tony Award winning one.
Moulin Rouge or I don't know
something.
That one
anyway,
Tony.
She's very, very talented, obviously.
Is she a parent? Like, how did she
she's a former parent. She's still a parent.
Of course.
Her kid doesn't go to that school anymore.
Right.
He's in college, right?
Yes.
She's no longer a parent. And she, it's a contract job, so she's not completely donating her time. She is getting paid something, but still, these kids are like, yeah, this is a silky material skirt and a cotton top. I'm like, first of all, this outfit is the flyest. All these costumes, I'll have to send you pictures. All these costumes are like, oh my gosh, these are like pulled from Broadway. Like these are like the most amazing costumes. Meanwhile,
you don't have to send me pictures. I'm going to the show.
Oh, right. My sixth grade costumes were literally a dress my mom had from the 70s with a ribbon belt. Like
100%. My costumes. Yes. Always, we would go to the Salvo and like my mom would refurbish stuff we found at Salvo or like go to a dance store. Yes.
Right.
But they would end up looking good, but they were not
ish.
Broadway show costumes.
These kids have a Broadway sound designer come in. Each of them has a Britney Spears lavalier taped mic like Broadway. 17 of them. 17 mics. A Broadway costume designer, a Broadway actor director as the director, and these kids are like, silky and cotton don't go together. I'm like, child, do you see what you're wearing right now?
Get the fuck out of here.
So I had to have a big old discussion being like, oh, and then one of them asked for her resume. And I was like, no. You're not interviewing the costume designer. You don't need to know what her work history is.
I gotta tell you, and I know I'll get canceled for saying this, but I don't know how you resist smacking the shit out of these kids.
Well, no, I literally was like, guys, not okay. You're not allowed. When one of you asked me for my IMDb profile, I said, be smart about it. Look up my name. Google it. It's Googleable.
Yeah. Wait, so you're smart enough to think of, let me Google her IMDb, or let me look her up on IMDb, but you're not smart enough to just Google her name?
Or like, where's your name? I'm like, it's literally in your email every day. It's in Google Classroom.
Oh, God. Like, I don't want my kid to become like a sixth grader. I don't want to deal with it.
So anyway, but my favorite thing is I torture them a little bit because they talk so much backstage and they don't realize that the stage is mic'd. So I keep telling them to shut up. I try to say it nicely. Friends, please be quiet. Lower your voices. And so they weren't doing it. So I was like, I'm going to make up names because, I signed an NDA. I was like, Jackson, I know you just asked Monica out on a date because I just heard you do it. Now I'm letting every single person know, Jackson, that Monica said it wasn't a really good time for her to date right now and to find another Valentine. So that's how well I can hear backstage from the back of the audience. That shut them up.
Did it work?
Yeah. Now they're not
okay, good.
The audience anymore.
Listen, sometimes you have to go there.
Okay, so that's my shits is like.
There was an episode of Poker Face recently that basically this was part of the murder.
Oh.
I don't know if you watched it.
I haven't gotten that
Ellen Barkin and Tim Meadows.
Let me just say, Ellen Barkin, I love her. Okay, so my tits are.
Oh my God, we're still on this.
I know. My tits are CPAP. So I've been sleeping like 2 weeks with the CPAP. And although currently, guys, this is some CPAP content for you. Although I have a nose mask, which is making my nose sore, so I have to get a full mask. I've ordered it already. I'm finally starting to feel like rested.
Oh, that's nice.
Like I wake up to
that must be a relief.
I mean, it's been 15 years at least. I wake up and I'm like, new day. I have energy. New day.
That's how I feel about athletic greens. I know you hate that I talk about athletic greens, but that's literally what it does for me. Where I can function.
I'm just like, wow, this not losing consciousness in the middle of sleeping is really great. And I don't really have nightmares or dreams that I remember anymore because I'm actually getting sleep.
Huh.
Because they told me I was sleep
deprived.
No, but
waking up multiple times where you almost died.
Yeah, but it wasn't that I was not getting REM sleep. I thought that they were dreams, but they were actually active hallucinations.
Oh, that's fun.
Isn't that fun?
That sounds about right.
Anyway, that's all. That's all I got for you guys.
You seem better.
Yeah, I feel better.
Now that you're not like perpetually sick and like getting sleep, you seem. Now we just need this play to end.
You know what I'm gonna be?
We can fucking hit the ground running with Momtourage shit.
I'm gonna be motherfucking limitless.
Oh God, I love being limitless. All right. I'm gonna lead this hot goss, okay?
Okay, I've added some fun ones for you.
I know, and I want to tackle the one about my man first.
I know. Okay,
I have a feeling you and I have very different views.
That was a surprise.
No, I actually this morning went on and was like, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot to put this in, and saw you added it.
I almost put this one's for you, Ashley, but I was like, I'll just say it. I won't write it in the thing, but I was like, okay. Easter egg for you, Ash.
Okay, let's talk Super Bowl, because for us, the Super Bowl happened, it's Tuesday, Valentine's Day. It happened 2 days ago.
Right.
I think the Super Bowl signified some very big cultural changes for women and the United States.
Good and bad. Good and bad.
No, good. Good. Although one of these is
bad,
not good, it's still, that has been the norm. Now we're changing the norm. So the norm is still there, but now we're evolving.
I'm so confused.
You get what I'm saying?
Just go. I'm so confused.
All right. First things first. I'm going to go in order of how they appeared on the Super Bowl.
Okay, great. Because I didn't watch anything but Rihanna.
Okay. So the first commercial of the Super Bowl was a menopause commercial. Okay? Can we get a round of applause from the people? A little it was a 30-second spot from Estella's Pharma, which promotes menopause awareness and ran after the coin flip and before kickoff. So that's like a very big
That's all to say, thank God, because we've been talking about it for gosh knows how long.
And this is what I'm saying, baby. This is exactly it. They talked about VMS, which stands for, I didn't know this, vasomotor symptoms, which is the medical...
VMS, very mucusy shenanigans. I don't know.
Vasomotor symptoms, which is the medical definition for hot flashes and night sweats associated with menopause. Then they said this in this article. More than 1 million women, typically those between the ages of 45 and 55, experience menopause each year.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
According to data from the National Institute of Health, despite being relatively common, not much is known about the health effects of menopause. So
I can tell you, it's bad. It's like but we do know heart disease, obesity. I feel like we do know. It's just that it hasn't been studied, but we know.
I mean, again, we can go back to the conversations we just recently had with Bess Wool, which is 51% of the population is women. And this pharmaceutical company, Estella, bought one of the biggest commercial spots.
Sorry.
Bought one of the biggest commercial spots on the biggest commercial night of the year in a male-dominated
sport
category. Yeah. To talk about menopause. If we have people like Naomi Watts and Stacey London who have launched menopause lines, and yet these are big celebrity. I mean, maybe Stacey London isn't as famous as Naomi Watts.
She is of my heart,
but we love her, and she will be coming on the show. We're in talks with her people. Get excited.
I'm making weird sounds today because I'm sleeping.
You are. You know why? You're like the weird guy from Police Academy that always just makes all the weird fucking noises.
You know why? Because I sleep now. Look at all this energy.
Maybe I want you to sleep less. I don't know.
You're like, I liked you better when you were asleep.
Maybe I want you to go back to hallucinating in your sleep. But this is a huge thing.
Yeah, I just they were just like, oh, you're 40, time to retire and put you out to pasture.
Yes, pretty much. And now we're acknowledging that women go through this huge change. And I was talking to someone yesterday, and I was talking about how huge this was, and they were like, well, it's just older generations, they don't want to, because they're embarrassed by it. And I said, no, it's not because they're embarrassed by it. It's because we live in a patriarchal society where nobody gives a shit what half of the population goes through. Look back at our conversation with Bess Wool. Who's the other one? The other lady who wrote A Mouthful of Air that we interviewed?
Yes.
Her. But both women are writers. Yeah, both women are writers. They were both told that they didn't have something marketable for women to not write for women or to not talk about postpartum, like things women deal with. And I am just so happy to be aging in a society where we are finally fucking acknowledging this.
Because as I say, you can get any kind of erection pill you want covered by insurance. You can get your hair growth serum by insurance, all things that are non-necessities.
Yep. But if we want to buy a pink razor, we get an extra tax on it because we have a vagina.
Or like have me gain weight and get high blood pressure and heart disease and pre-diabetes, and it have nothing to do with what I'm eating or putting in my mouth.
And our doctors don't listen to us. They don't take what we say to the fullest extent.
And then 2 years later, they go, "Oh, you've gotten really big," and I'm like, yeah." And then you have to be airlifted to a hospital. Carol.
Yeah, exactly. Or, "Oh, wow, you've had 2 heart attacks and we didn't know," which is what happened. Which is how Carol even was like. Discovered these things.
Ugh, so dumb.
I'm glad we're making some strides. Now,
you feel passionately about this, guys. I don't know if you can tell.
Yes, I am like very enthused. Now, to what the norm is. Remember those Jesus commercials? 2 of them? They spent $7 million on those commercials, which, if you ask me, Jesus, who, by the way, I don't think anyone needs to spread the word about Jesus. I think everybody in the fucking world knows who Jesus is.
Also, Jesus was pretty poor. I think he'd want you to give that money away. He was really poor.
And he would have spent that $7 million to, I don't know, feed people.
Give people health care, poverty.
Give them medication. Yeah. Give them a house to live in.
Let them have the Ozempic if they need it.
Right. Jesus would have spent $7 million in a very different way. And again, we didn't need $7 million to tell us who Jesus is. I'm a Jew. I know. I'm very aware of who Jesus is. I think everyone knows who Jesus is.
I believe he's my homeboy.
Now let's go into a deeper dive about these Jesus commercials.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is gonna get fun.
It gets dark.
The association, I for lack of a better term, I'm not sure, organization.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
I guess.
I just want to say, if you love Jesus, we don't have a problem with you loving Jesus.
No,
we're not anti-Jesus.
No, we're not at all.
I just wanted to say that before.
We're not anti-Jesus. We're not anti-religion.
No.
Our whole point is, and we'll also get into it, you'll see why we're so bothered by this. But
I just wanted to put that out there.
It is just very hypocritical to spend $7 million to tell people to be kind to one another when this organization, you'll hear. So the organization that did this is called He Gets Us. They claim to not be left or right or a political organization of any kind, nor does it claim affiliation with a particular denomination.
Do they get the taxless rebates?
Just let me, I'll tell you. The group is a nonprofit 501c3 and a subsidiary of the Servant Foundation. So
which is why they have 7
means that they are they're tax deductible, I guess, or taxed differently. I'm not an accountant, but I know they're taxed differently if they even are.
I believe they're not taxed at all. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So the Servant Foundation is a Kansas-based nonprofit that reported $405 million in total revenue for the fiscal year of 2020. You remember that year when we were all in a national pandemic and nobody could work and people were getting what was the money that everyone was getting from the government? Not us.
Yeah.
POP loans. Mm-hmm. PPP. Matt, what is it? POP? PPP. I don't know. POP, PP. Hold on. I don't want to be total.
And also people were dying.
Right. Hold on. PPP loans. Yeah. So people were getting PPP loans. That year, businesses were going out of business because nobody could work or go anywhere, but they somehow made $405 million in total revenue. From 2018 to 2020, the Servant Foundation donated more than $50 million to the Alliance Defending Freedom. Oh, how nice. That sounds good.
Yes, I love freedom. I love freedom.
I love freedom too. And It's a alliance, right? Mm-hmm. It is a nonprofit known for fighting abortion rights and non-discrimination laws. Okay. The Southern Poverty Law Center listed the Alliance Defending Freedom as an anti-LGBTQ hate group in 2016, citing that the ADF's support of criminalizing homosexuality. Criminalizing.
So Jesus does not get me. He does not get me.
Not in this, not their Jesus.
No.
Your Jesus does, but not this Jesus.
Got it.
Citing they support criminalizing homosexuality and approval of imprisoning LGBTQ individuals for engaging in consensual sex. So most of the donors are anonymous. However, Hobby Lobby founder and billionaire David Green was talking to Glenn Beck and said that
two of my least favorite people.
Those are some loving guys, aren't they? They love everyone. Mm-hmm. Very, very much in the Jesus way.
You know what? He gets me.
So he's a big founder, or I'm sorry.
Supporter.
Funder. Mm-hmm. Funder? Big supporter of it. So Green and Hobby Lobby, just to remind you, won a significant victory in 2014 when the Supreme Court ruled that Hobby Lobby and other closely held corporations can continue to deny providing health insurance coverage for some or all forms of birth control based off of their religious objections. The ruling affected more than 60 million American workers at the time. Green told Beck.
Sorry.
I know. Green told Beck, you're going to see it at the Super Bowl. He gets us. We are wanting to say, we being a lot of people, that he gets us. He understands us. He loves who we hate. I think we have to let the public know and create a movement. In a September 2022, I want to read all these facts so people really know what happened here. In a September 2022 modeling, the Pew Research Center estimates that if Christians in the USA continue leaving religion at its current rate, Christians of all ages will shrink from the current 64% to between a little more than half and just above 1/3 of all Americans by 2070. The study also estimates that if the current trends continue, those identifying with no religion will increase from the current 30% to somewhere between 34 and 52%. So, now, opinion time.
First of all, I just want to say about the inequality stuff.
Yes.
If Jesus was from Jerusalem or Palestine, he's either Black or Middle Eastern.
Uh-huh.
So you're saying that they hate their own Jesus because they're racist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just think, is there anything more hypocritical than spending $7 million on a commercial to teach people
to love
about Jesus and how he wanted to make the world a better place and he embraced everybody and loved everybody, and yet
except
you yourself
these people
work to overturn Roe versus Wade, work to criminalize being gay. That's not love.
No.
That's not love at all. And that is not what Jesus stood for.
Also, Jesus,
I believe.
Let me just say, Jesus.
Call me an Old Testament kind of gal, but I don't think that's what he was into.
I'm going to get canceled for this, but Jesus hung out with a lot of dudes. Jesus hung out with a lot.
And Mary Magdalene was a hoe, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was a hoe.
He definitely, people not practicing what he preaches.
Dudes is all I'm saying.
Yeah. And I wanted to add in that last statistic.
They all fallen asleep in a garden together, drinking wine. Sounds like a good time, honestly.
I wanted to add in that last statistic because it really shows you what the motivation is here. That in my opinion, the societal norm is, what we're seeing, a lot of legislation that we see trying to go to pass right now are things that would stop change, right? And it almost seems like there are people that just want to pass legislation that goes against evolving with the times, which fine.
I mean, not fine.
It just seems, no, not fine, but it just seems like people are more interested in keeping the status quo of the cisgendered, heterosexual, white Christian male in power as opposed to really spreading the word of Jesus. And I just think
we sound like opposite Joe Rogan right now.
I know. If you want to sit here If you really want to spread the word of Jesus, do it. That's great. I think it sounds like he was a great guy who really wanted people to love each other and treat each other with kindness. And that is a beautiful message. That's not what this shit is about.
That's my Jesus, because you know what? He gets me.
He gets me. Eve, lots of editing out there. You do whatever you want, my friend. All right.
Good luck and God bless.
Yeah, Godspeed to you, friend. Next thing we need to talk about.
Yes.
Rihanna's halftime show. What do you think, Keri?
So
I loved every second.
I didn't love it.
I'm shocked.
I love what it stood for. But she didn't even try to lip sync. She had the microphone so far away from her mouth. I mean, and the thing is, you have to bring it at the Super Bowl. And I know all of us were a little bit concerned that she couldn't sing, and she probably can't, which is why she was doing that.
Who was all of us that was concerned? That was not even a thought in my mind.
Oh, I was.
That she can't sing.
It was a huge thing because she's been shown lately. Her voice is very different. It's lower. All the smoking that she does and everything has really affected her voice.
I just thought she wasn't into music anymore.
Oh, no. It's been a huge thing that she can't sing that much anymore. So I was a little bit like, I wanted her to sing at least a track, even if it wasn't the whole thing. Like, I get you have backup vocals, but if there was a song like, let me say, work, 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 like, she could have sung that one. Like, that doesn't take a whole lot of vocals, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, I was enjoying it too much to even notice that she wasn't lip syncing properly.
It was not good.
Sebastian was dancing on a table. I was kind of dancing with him. We were just enjoying the show, so.
And then and we had this discussion. I wish that, well, one, Rihanna's never been known to be a dancer ever. Like, she's never really a dancer. She did okay with the dancing.
I disagree very much on that statement. Rihanna has always, I'm not going to say she's been Britney Spears level dancer, but she has always been somewhat of a dancer. I mean,
I disagree.
Honda La Replay, Umbrella, like, she's had music videos that are very much based on dance. I mean, it may be more like Trinidadian style dancing, but she's certainly not somebody who's void of rhythm and movement.
No, I wouldn't say it's void of rhythm, but she's basically just doing cotton candy Tootsie Roll.
Yes.
Mostly.
Okay, yes.
You know what I
agree with you on that.
It's just like cotton candy
but
Tootsie Roll.
I like that. That's what I want from Rihanna.
Okay.
I don't you know, for me, Rihanna represents just the baddest of bitches in the best way possible. And she brought that. And
that was, she did give bad bitch, the way she was like looking down, giving eye rolls. Like, I was into that.
We were talking about what she was going to open with. There were a lot of TikTok videos. People were thinking Shine Bright Like a Diamond, which, by the way, I hate that song. Hate it. However, Matt was like, no way she's gonna even do Bitch Better Have My Money because it's a family show. And I was like, nah, she's going to. She opened with it, which was fucking so awesome.
Pay me what you owe
I
me.
also want to say something controversial, which is, I know everyone was trying to be polite and like, oh, I don't want to say that she's pregnant. Automatically.
No, I was like, she's pregnant.
The way she was dressed, I think she was trying to show like, I am pregnant.
Yeah.
And that was full-blown goddess energy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
She was
that was the part
badass.
I liked.
I loved it. I thought it was such a big statement. Again, such a cultural shift that a woman who is that visibly pregnant. Firstly, she got pregnant real quick.
Second baby always pops.
I mean, really quick, right? Like, she had the baby in May. Holy moly. Also, we got to talk about the Olivia Wilde of it all. After.
I know, in a second.
But I think what she did was so huge, and it was so interesting to me to be in a room of mostly men, one other woman, who really were not very impressed, except for Matt. Matt was the only one that kind of like saw why this was a big deal. Everyone was kind of like, okay, like, not that great. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Do you not see how huge this is? This is huge. This is such a pregnant woman just dominated 13 minutes in the world's biggest, like, macho.
I kept being like, be careful, Rihanna, you got a baby in there. My only thing is, I really like when they bring other people out with them. I mean, she brought her baby with her, which was like the biggest guest spot ever.
But I think that's the ultimate bad bitch move.
But then we had that moment where we were like, okay, she's not gonna. Thank God she didn't bring out Kanye. Okay, who's she gonna bring out?
I was sweating.
Who's she gonna bring out? She can't bring out Jay-Z. Beyonce would kill Jay-Z, because if case of you guys are not up on the goss, Rihanna was Jay-Z's side piece for a
allegedly.
very, very, very long time.
I don't know if I believe that.
Oh, I 100% believe that. Hundy.
I don't know.
100%.
Although didn't Beyond the Blinds do a podcast about how like Rihanna has absolutely definitely used her like sexual
Beyond the Blinds
liberation to like get where she is.
Yes. And I'm
kind of casting couch style.
Yes, and I'm happy for it, honestly.
Yeah.
So she's not going to bring out Drake because that didn't go well. That didn't end well. And then I was like, who else?
He might be a child molester. There's a lot,
right? But then I'm like,
a lot of talk.
But who is there anybody left that she could bring out? Like Bruno Mars or somebody? Did she do something with Bruno Mars?
Bless. I don't think so.
Anyway, so I was like,
but I could be wrong. I also wanted to read these two quotes. So a source, according to Entertainment Tonight, a source said this, and it got me so hot and bothered, not in a good way. Rihanna wanted to display a message of empowerment and to show that you can balance it all and make your dreams come true. She feels so confident and appreciative in this moment. I'm sorry. I don't think for one moment Rihanna was trying to say a woman can balance it all. That is the antithesis to all motherhood. You don't do a huge statement like she did to just say, moms can balance it all. Fuck you. That's what I say as a mom.
You can have it all, except a guest.
Why are you doing Mr. Hanky voice?
Mr. Hanky, you can have it all.
And then, so this is an actual quote from her. And I like this much better. She said, when you become a mom, there's something that just happens where you feel like you can take on the world and do anything. The Super Bowl is one of the biggest stages in the world. As scary as that was, because I haven't been on stage in 7 years, there's something exhilarating about the challenge of it all. Yes, it's very different. The balance, talking about managing the work-life balance now that she's a mother. She says, yes, it's very different. The balance is almost impossible because no matter how you look at it, work is always something that's going to rob you of time with your child. That's the currency now. That's where it goes. The magnitude of how much it weighs. When you make decisions on what you're going to say yes to, it has to be worth it. And I just thought that really summarized her whole...
Come on, bad bitch, Riri.
Thing. I love her so much. And Bitch Better Have My Money is like one of my favorites. I love her so much.
I just want to let you know, as a Momtourage team, sadly, we often have to say to ourselves, pretending we're saying them to clients, bitch better have my money.
I know we do.
Also, searches for Rihanna's Fenty Beauty increased 833% after the Super Bowl.
P.S. Did you notice that the powder that she did her touch-up with
is the one we have?
The one we have.
Anyway.
I said, I have that powder. I used it today.
833%.
I know.
Get it.
Good thing we already have the powder. Okay. What was that John Travolta commercial?
I don't know.
Why was Zach Braff and Donald Faison in it? I did not get that.
No, I didn't get that one
either.
And
singing Grease, like I just didn't understand the connection at all. Did you get it?
No, I think John Travolta's like, everyone around me has died that I love. I need to do a commercial.
Oh, also, we need to talk about one more thing with Rihanna. Sorry, going back to Rihanna real quick. So Olivia Wilde on Monday
wants to die. Olivia Wilde wants to die.
Olivia Wilde is a bitch with a death wish because she on Monday posted something. I'm not saying it verbatim, but she said, ASAP Rocky is really hot.
And then tagged Rihanna.
And tagged Rihanna. And all I could say is, this bitch don't learn.
She want to die. She's a death wish.
She does have if there's one chick
self-sabotage.
If there's one chick I don't want to see in a dark corner after I've pissed her off, it's Rihanna. Maybe Pink too. I wouldn't want to run into Pink in a dark corner after, or Allie, or whatever the expression is, after I've pissed her off. Neither one of them. Because they will kick my ass.
Yes,
anyway.
True.
Ben Affleck, Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
Oh, I loved it.
I loved it too. I just thought
I want him to do more.
Good for you both.
It raised my vibration of 2023. I was like, can we just have more of this?
Good for you both. And by you both, I mean Ben and Duncan. Not J-Lo. I really wish J-Lo wasn't in it.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, so you got to steal this from him too? And also, you've never eaten a glazed donut in your life.
No, not a chance this bitch eats a donut.
She doesn't eat. She's never even looked at one because she's afraid the calories are going to stick to her.
I'm sure she has in her life. She grew up in the Bronx, for Christ's sakes, but she hasn't eaten a donut in a good 20 years.
And the only thing glazed is her manicure.
What? And her face when she sleeps like a fucking mummy.
With olive oil only.
I gotta, with olive oil only and no Botox whatsoever. I gotta tell you, I've become a back sleeper, and every time I think about how I'm doing the J-Lo's work on myself, and I'm like very into it. Anyway.
Well, now that I have the CPAP mask, I can only sleep on my back, so God bless.
Oh my God, both of us are back sleepers now. Look at us.
With that cedar pillow, get it.
I know. Okay, Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly. God, so blinds say that he overdosed at the Jay-Z Rock Nation pre-Grammy brunch. These allegedly, this is according to Blind Items. And then this weekend, she posted an Instagram post that said, where she looked hot like always. Whatever. She said, "You can taste the dishonesty. It's all over your breath," which is a quote from Beyonce's Lemonade. And then she deleted all the pictures of him, unfollowed basically everyone, and followed 3 people.
Timothy Chalamet.
And then one other person who followed her back, another guy. But Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly have beef and have for quite some time. So, love that. She then deleted her Instagram. There are rumors, there are blinds that he cheated with underage boys.
Well, Timothy Chalamet is back on the drogas, by the way. He could
not care less about.
I know. I'm just saying he's in a bad spiral right now.
Okay.
Also, rumors are, which whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm not saying this because I'm like homophobic, but rumors are that MGK cheated on her with a man.
Yeah, with underage boys too.
Right.
Again,
that I do have
just
beef
reporting
with.
Blind item gossip to you guys.
Right.
But
also, who's shocked that he does a ton of drugs? He looks like he does a ton of drugs.
100%. They apparently at this Rock Nation pre-Grammy bunch had to inject him with the
Narcan.
The one with the end.
Narcan.
Yeah, Narcan. Also, whatever it is.
Also, I feel like I almost called her Megan Kelly. Megan Fox. I feel like Megan Fox might consume Timothy Chalamet like a praying mantis.
Not
like
a female
praying mantis.
No, she's not dating Timothy Chalamet.
But Eminem, she might fuck up. Her and Eminem might get
She was in an Eminem music video.
Yeah, they're gonna. I don't like Eminem's new dark beard, by the way.
I think he looks good.
I think
he looks handsome.
I think he's an attractive man, but that beard looks like he's like painted it on a little bit.
He does look a little just for men.
He needs to like let go of the just for men and let it get a little gray in there.
Yeah.
I
gotta tell you, here's the thing about Megan Fox. I really want to like her. I think pre all the work that she denies having done, she was a stunning, beautiful woman. And I think now
stunning now, but she looks like a robot.
I think she looks like a blow-up doll. She looks like a blow-up sex doll. And to me,
I think that's what she wants to look like, though.
She is just riddled with insecurity. All I see when I look at her is a highly insecure woman who has been told her whole life how beautiful she is, and she is aging, and she is a mother of 3, and she cannot deal with aging.
Yeah.
And it is, again, this is my personal opinion. I have nothing to base this off of other than I just don't think you have that much work done and feel the need to talk about how fucking overly sexual you are when you're comfortable with yourself.
Right.
I just don't. That's me. And it's really sad to me because I genuinely root for her. I really like her and I think she's great, and I just think it's a real tragedy that the rest of us can see how great she is and how good of a guy she deserves, and she just keeps pissing it away with this guy that I'm kind of convinced was potentially abusive, at least emotionally. I think it's sad. I think it's really sad, and I really hope they have broken up, and I hope she finds a kind of chubby, funny guy,
Ashley,
who treats her like a queen.
Ashley, couple things here. I had no idea you were so passionate about.
I really like Megan Fox, and I'm really disappointed in her.
And I'm sorry for that for you. And second of all, she will never be with a chubby guy. It will never happen. That's not her vibe.
Even Brian Austin Green, I like that a lot better.
I know.
I think he's hot.
I know.
I was always into David Silver. Okay. one last one, and then you can take those other last three.
Okay.
And I don't want to talk about the aliens or the balloon.
We're running long.
Fine, whatever.
Long and
Do
strong. And Dad gets frictional. I sleep now.
Penn Badgley came out. So part 1 of You season 4. We all know how I feel about Penn Badgley and You. Came out. I've already watched it, obviously. And I was like, wow, this is really void of sexual situations for my man. And it's apparently because he came to the creator of the show and said, look, I'd really like to not have sex scenes because I would like to practice fidelity to my wife. And all the headlines were like, more and more people. I have not seen anyone else saying this. He is the first person I've seen. And I fucking love it. I am here for it as much as I'm going to miss it. I don't think most actors have the ability to do this because most of us are just trying to get work and gotta take what we gotta take. But if you're in the position to be able to do that and say, you know what, I don't really want to be the romantic lead in my career anymore. I'd like to just have fun and act. And I have the ability to say that because I have consistent work. More power to them.
I don't want to wear a flesh penis patch and grind on someone.
Yeah. I have a feeling you don't like it. And I would like to hear why.
I mean, I'm just like, I'm like sort of neutral on it. I mean, I think
that's surprising.
I think when you're an actor, you have to do a lot of different things in the name of acting. And just because I'm naked in a movie or naked on thing doesn't mean I'm like I'm infidelity. No, what's the word I'm looking for? Cheating on my husband. I think that.
Have you ever done a full-blown sex scene?
Yeah. And I've been completely naked on stage for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I have not, but I don't know how a guy keeps from getting hard when you are doing not just like a little full-blown sex scene.
I'm not a jealous person. I'm just not.
It has nothing to do with that.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, if Lee did a sex scene with a girl and got hard, I wouldn't be like, oh, you cheated on me. I'd be like, well, yeah, you were rubbing up against somebody and they're beautiful. So yeah, you're probably going to get hard. So, okay. But you didn't like penetrate her and you're not leaving me for her. So whatever.
Yeah. I mean, look, I appreciate
the intention.
You're making it about jealousy when it's not about jealousy. He's not saying it's about his wife. He's not saying his wife even motivated anything.
No. I know, but I'm just saying as an actor, you sign up. I mean, listen, if he's a producer on that show, he can call the shots of whatever he wants. He can say, I don't want to do this, and it's fine. If you're an actor.
He does have sex scenes, by the way, but they are much different than the sex scenes of seasons past.
That's like, I'm not mad about it, but I just know as an actor, if I thought the character or the scene really needed to have that scene, I wouldn't want to keep, because I'm method. So I'm like, if this play or this show or this film needed that sex scene and it needed to be kind of a raw sex scene to like have the story feel like it's complete, I wouldn't want to then say, well, I'm not going to do that.
Okay. So I think you're missing the point of this a little bit because he's not denying that. Essentially what he really, and if you've watched the show, anyone who watches You, I think would agree on this. The way that the first 3 seasons were is very different than this season. I've
watched the other seasons. I haven't watched this one, but I have watched all the other seasons.
All of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in this season, he's the hunted.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically, he's trying to figure out who hunts him.
Okay.
So it's not just that the show is missing a sex vibe that was previously there and it needs it. They just kind of changed, they kind of like reformatted things, and it does work.
Okay.
It really does work in a good way. I just thought
I'll have to watch it and see if I think that it's lacking. But I'm just saying the concept of what you're bringing to me, this is just, I actually don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying that
in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. All right, you want to take these last 3?
Sure. These are quick because, like, I don't want to go too much into it, honestly. So there's a possible breakup of Court and Travis.
I don't believe it.
Which I think is funny. I'm just saying, like, the Megan Fox, MGK, Court and Travis of it all. It's just kind of funny. Like they just have to do the same thing all the time or whatever. Anyway, Travis kind of posted kind of a little bit of a cryptic message about like just the two of us, and he got it. Anyway, it's just like I didn't care enough to go too deep into it.
I haven't even heard about this,
except that Dumois and other places are saying that it's a little bit weird or whatever.
Okay. Also, they're fucking weird.
Right. Britney Spears intervention. Okay. I'm just mentioning this because you know how obsessed I am with this whole thing. Basically, I don't know what to believe anymore. I'm so confused. Like, she probably does have a drug problem. She probably does have a drug and drinking problem. She probably is off meds, on meds, who knows? But the fact that we're hearing from her team that the family is trying to do an intervention makes the whole thing extremely sus. And as the kids say. And then the day of the intervention, we saw Sam, whatever his last name is, doing step and repeat at some red carpet. Like if you're really, really concerned about your wife and your intervention, you're not going to an event doing a step and repeat.
No, you're not.
So it just further makes me just feel so horrible about Britney and just be like, everything's the same as it was before. It's sad. Tom Brady in his thirst trap photo, most boring thing ever. Who wants to see your brown chonies? Did you just get like a new filter on your app? Body still look okay.
It was also, his face was like face tuned.
Yeah. And also like, what was that? What kind of hotel room is that? I don't know. Just like Tom Brady,
just so
whatever.
Like divorced dad. And honestly, like I can't even imagine having sex with Tom Brady is fun.
Gisela is winning this whole situation.
Do you think having sex with Tom Brady would be fun? I don't. I think he would like stare at himself in the mirror
and goes, touchdown!
And he would like make it a workout opportunity where he would be like planking. I don't know. It might
be fun the first time just because his body do look good. But then after that, not so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
All right. Segment 2. That was fun. I enjoyed that. All right. This article from the New York Times is called I Love You, but I Don't Want to Sleep with You. And it says couples are having more and more sleeping separately. That wasn't proper English. Just cut that out. Anyway, so this article is about couples who are sleeping separately. And they say that sleeping apart is more common than one might think. 1 in 5 couples sleep in separate bedrooms, and almost 2/3 of those who do so every night, according to a January survey of 2,200 Americans conducted by the International Housewares Association for
International House of Pancakes.
Yes. So interior decorators are more and more having to reconfigure homes to transform separate bedrooms into adjoining ones, an arrangement that more couples are demanding, according to designers who have seen an uptick in requests from couples that sleep apart or want to make secondary rooms feel as thoughtfully decorated as the primary one. Catherine Hertline, a professor in the couple and family therapy program at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, where they get a lot of work done, worries about the motivation behind the decision to slumber in separate quarters. She says, is it really because a partner tosses and turns too much, or is that an excuse to avoid talking about bigger problems at home, or a non-confrontational way to escape an unhappy pairing? What are you pretending to not know? I have people say things like, I've moved to the other bedroom because of my back. And I'm like, did you? So here are some statistics. Keep your opinions. I know you have them. I got them. Well, let me just get through these last few things. Dr. Cheryl Fraser, a clinical psychologist and sex therapist, she surveyed 3,000 couples in long-term relationships. She found that roughly 33 to 40% report that they are in a sexless relationship, which is qualified here, is clinically defined as having sex together no more than 6 times a year. So if you're not having sex more than 6 times a year, you are in what is defined as a sexless relationship. So take away the snuggle time that happens in a shared bed, and sex might soon go too. When you sleep in the same bed, sex naturally happens. The International Houseware Association, a trade organization,
sorry,
I know it does sound like that, says 31% of surveyed couples who said they sleep apart reported that the arrangement had no impact on their relationship. And 21% said that their relationship improved because of it. Granted, the remaining half of the respondents did not see the setup in a positive light. Okay, so half of the people who are sleeping apart either said it had no impact or improved it, where the other half did not see it in a positive light.
Mm-hmm.
They also said about 46% of the people surveyed who said they had called the shared bed quits blamed a partner's snoring, tossing and turning, different sleep schedules, or conflicting wind-down routines. Almost a fifth of respondents said they sleep in separate quarters because they simply want private space, and 22% of respondents said that they made the change in the last year, raising the possibility that the arrangement is becoming more common, not less so. So 22% did it because it's becoming common, whatever. So some real life studies from this article. One man interviewed said he feels closer to his wife and more eager to be intimate with her precisely because they have their own rooms. You're no longer trying to figure out ways to break away from your family and get your alone time. So he feels more fulfilled because he has alone time, and it makes him want to have more sex. One woman interviewed said, I'm an introvert and I need, this is you, in my opinion. Yeah. I'm an introvert and I need alone time to recharge. Once she made the move, she loved it. She realized that she had missed having only lived alone briefly in college and becoming a mother at 24. We had to be thrown into being parents. We both lost ourselves. As our daughter gets older, we are reemerging and asking, what are my hobbies? Who am I? Having physical space for that process has helped a lot. We don't feel like we're just stuck with somebody. So, now, Keri, what do you think?
I'm all for sleeping in separate bedrooms. And I have a close friend who also, her and her husband have the most amount of sex of anyone I've ever met in my entire life. They have sex every single day, if not multiple times a day. Nope. And they sleep in separate beds. So they have sex every single day, if not multiple times a day.
How do they have the time to have sex multiple times a day?
They sneak it in anywhere, on a table, downstairs in the basement while doing laundry, wherever. But their sleep schedules are extremely different. He primarily works very late at night and comes in very late at night. And she has to get up really early for the kids. And she, like me, is like, once we're done being intimate, I don't want to touch you. She doesn't want anyone touching her when she sleeps. Does she have her own room? Yes. She doesn't want anyone touching her when she sleeps like I do. It's like when sleep time comes down, get down to business. No snuggling. We snuggle and then we're done, right? And that's how I've, for the most part, have always felt. There's only been like one boyfriend, and it was a very codependent relationship where I felt like I need to sleep snuggled up to him. And it was really like, on a whole, that's not me.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So Lee and I started sleeping separately. We don't sleep separately all the time. Lee and I started sleeping separately because of my snoring. And now that I have the CPAP machine, we don't need to do that anymore. But sometimes
it's so sexy, so you just stay in the same bed now with the CPAP machine.
It really is so hot with that chin strap and my mouth guard, CPAP mask, and my nighttime routine and my silk hair wrap. But so that was the original reason. And I did feel like odd man out because I was sleeping in the guest bedroom and it wasn't like outfitted the way that I wanted. It didn't have my stuff or whatever. And I like had makeshift stuff and I was like, ooh.
That's a big talking point in this article is like, if you're going to do it, it's very important to have two bedrooms that feel like master bedrooms and not like one person's relegated to guest room. Yeah.
But the other thing is, Lee and I have very different nighttime routines. He goes to bed late because he has that tinnitus or tinnitus, whatever, in his ear. He has ringing in his ears from being in the band for so long. And so he needs to like be doing something until the moment he's about ready to drop, because if he's in quiet for too long, his ears ring so bad that it like drives him insane. So he goes downstairs and watches TV until he's like ready to fall asleep.
Oh, that's terrible.
And then comes up and just passes out immediately. And I don't like to do that. I like to like do my face routine, read a book before I go to bed. And on a whole, I'm going to bed like at 9 or 10 because I'm the one that gets up with Luna. He doesn't really get up with Luna. He gets up later. And so I don't have to be in a separate room normally because I can just like fall asleep by myself doing my thing while he's downstairs. But times where he's needed to get up early for work and gone to bed early and I still wanted to do that routine, I will go to the guest bedroom. My only thing is like, why don't you go to the guest bedroom? That's my only beef.
I
is
agree.
Like, we should mix it up if we want to sleep separately for whatever reason, you know?
Or you do the thing where you delegate 2 separate bedrooms, and one is one person's room and one is the other person's room.
Right. I do have to say, when we're able to like speak our needs out loud, it does make me more attracted to him. Like being able to say that, like, this is what I need.
That makes perfect sense.
Because when we were sleeping together and I was snoring, it was making me feel bad about myself. Because he was like, stop snoring. And it like created this like cycle loop. He wasn't saying it nicely. I was internalizing it. It was both our faults. It wasn't any one person's fault. It made me feel like not loved and not wanted. But once we were able to like speak our needs, it became a little bit easier. And then our relationship actually became better because we weren't resenting each other or tired or whatever. And it did make me more attracted to him. And also, like, for me, I don't like to have sex and then fall asleep anyway. So it doesn't matter where we're having sex or when. It has nothing to do with sleeping in the same bed together.
Okay.
For me.
Okay.
I feel like I did miss sleeping in my room, but I couldn't tell if it was sleeping in my room or sleeping with him. It was hard to tell because we don't.
That's very honest of you.
Yeah, because we don't touch much when we sleep anyway, because both of us are like serious sleepers. Like we're like hug, cuddle, say goodnight, kiss, and then go our separate ways. We've always been like that. So I really couldn't tell. But when I was like, oh, I want to come back to the bed, but I couldn't tell why I wanted to come back to the bed.
So I was working on this script in bed next to Matt, and, you know, I would ask him questions of things that would come up, and he was like, I don't ever want to not sleep in bed with you. And I think for us, I don't want to sit here and judge anyone else's relationship. I'm just saying, I don't think I could be in a relationship where being in bed together wasn't part of the intimacy. Mm-hmm. Like, I've been very honest with the fact that, like, I don't need sex all the time. It's not something that, it's fun, it's great, but, like, that's just, for me, the real intimacy comes in, like, hugging and spooning and, like, feeling comfort and love from my partner through the love language of physical, displays of love.
I also think it makes a huge difference because Lee and I were single people living separately for so long. You and Matt got together relatively young and have been married or dating for kind of a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it was different. Like, it would be different.
We moved in together when I was 26 or 27.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get what you're saying, and we've lived together ever since. I'm 37 now.
Right. Whereas Lee and I didn't move in together until we were 40.
Yeah, and you were already pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 38 weeks pregnant.
Yeah. And see, I've never been somebody
We had never stayed together for more than 2 nights a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we like our privacy.
When we were dating, it was very much like we wanted to be together all the time. After like 6 months, we were talking about moving in together and finding a way to live together. And I was like, I think I should move to LA, in all honesty. And he came with me.
Right.
So it was, I really think it's just like a matter of who you are and what your needs are. I used to be very like old-fashioned in it, thinking that it was, a couple that doesn't sleep together, it's a nail in the coffin of the relationship. And like, who the fuck am I to say that?
Right.
And I genuinely mean that. I am not a psychologist of any kind. I am no expert in relationships. I just know what I need. And I know that if I were with somebody who didn't want to sleep in the same bed as me, that would probably take its toll on my relationship.
Right.
But I'm not here to say what works for other people or doesn't.
I also think the key is transparency and saying what your needs are, and then trying to find,
which is the most challenging fucking part. And it's not just you. It's also being honest with yourself, which I think is very difficult for people. We can say we need something till we're blue in the face, but you have to really dig deep and like do the work and be honest with yourself. And that and it doesn't just require one person, it requires 2 people to do that. And if you're in a heterosexual relationship or maybe a gay male relationship, that's probably even harder because men are not notoriously the most emotionally available and open of the species. So
FYI, I have to go in 4 minutes. So let's do
okay. So we would love to.
Go ahead.
We would love to hear from you guys. I actually would genuinely love to hear what you guys think. If you're sleeping in separate rooms, please let us know. I want to hear how it's working for you. Or if you're not, just tell us anything. It's hello@momtouragepodcast.com. In case you guys don't know, Keri and I have started a podcast consulting company called Most Talkative.
And
our first client
is this amazing woman with an amazing idea. Her name is Lacey, and she has this whole podcast about like surfing the middle, which is one of the things I talk about so much, how to navigate the icky, sticky, the middle. So
and also being a recovering perfectionist.
Right. Her podcast is called Sharing the Middle. And we would love for you to listen to it. She's got some wise words. I think it's really helpful for anybody who's going through something that they're just not sure when it's going to end, and navigating all those weird life things that are a little bit icky.
It's a really fun podcast. You'll enjoy it. And
link in our show notes.
Check it out. All right. # swag bag. You want to go first?
Preparation H suppositories.
Been there, done that.
I used to use the one where you had to put it in that tube, shove it up your butt, and then you tried to clean that tube, and it was oily, and you needed
I've only used the little like pills.
Oh my gosh. I was at my mom's, and I was like, oh, these hemorrhoids are really getting to me. And I looked, and she had the suppositories. I didn't know they came in a suppository. Why have I been using this ancient Monistat 7 method? Terrible. Prep H suppositories have changed my life. Used one last night, guys. Link in bio.
Mine is this necklace that I'm wearing right now, which is a tennis necklace dupe. I've been wanting one of these for a while, but every time I look at them, like on Shopbop or whatever, like all the cool girls are wearing them. Every time I look at them on Shopbop, they're like $100+ for fake diamonds or crystal, which I'm sorry. Crystal is just cubic zirconia. Like I don't care if it's Swarovski or not. It's fake diamonds. And I found a really, really good dupe on Amazon for $32. And I feel like it's elevated all of my like cute little outfits and just added a little something. And I love it. And I think you should too.
I had to return it and size up. It was like choking me out. Yeah, it was choking me out.
What'd you do? The next one?
Yeah.
16?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
My friend bought the 18 and hers is down here and it looks pretty good.
Nice. All right, guys.
Anyway.
Well, it's been real. We love you.
Love you. Bye.